I was 17 years old, standing in a room full of students who had just trashed the place. Pizza boxes on the floor, soda cans on the windowsills, wrappers everywhere. And somehow, every single teacher pointed at me. "You did this. You clean it up." I told them no. I showed them my empty hands. I even pulled out my own trash bag to prove I never littered. But they didn't care. And when the head teacher cornered me and said, "I'm calling your parents," I didn't beg. I didn't cry. I pulled out my phone, held it out to her, and said 2 words that made her blood run cold. "Go ahead." If you have ever been blamed for something you didn't do, if you've ever felt the sickening heat of a teacher or boss or coworker deciding you're the problem just because it's easier than finding the truth, then hit that like button right now. Subscribe and get comfortable, because this is one of the most quietly satisfying revenge stories you will hear all year. My name doesn't matter. You can call me Alex. I'm 35 now, married, working a steady job, and the whole school thing is almost 20 years behind me. But sometimes, late at night, when I can't sleep, I still see that huge common room. The one with the beige walls and the scratched up floor. The one where 30 or 40 kids would cram into every lunch break, leaving behind a disaster zone. I was 17, and I was different. Not in a bad way, but in a way that made teachers uncomfortable. I'm autistic. I wasn't diagnosed until my 20s, but back then everyone just called me difficult, or weird, or, my personal favorite, a problem child. I wasn't a problem. I just didn't understand why people said one thing and meant another. I didn't understand why a teacher could smile at me 1 minute and yell at me the next. I saw the world in straight lines, in rules, in fairness. And fairness, I learned very quickly, was not something a school was designed to give. I was forced into special edition. Not because I needed it. I was getting B's and C's in regular classes. I could read and write just fine, but because the teachers had decided I was too much. Too many questions. Too many corrections when they got facts wrong. Too literal. So they shoved me into a room with kids who had much bigger challenges, and they told themselves they were helping me. They weren't helping me. They were putting me in a box. That's the thing about being autistic in a school that doesn't understand autism. You become invisible. Not because people can't see you, but because they've already decided who you are. And nothing you do can change their mind. This school had a large common area. It was like an indoor courtyard, ugly fluorescent lights, a few vending machines, cheap plastic tables, and chairs that wobbled. Every lunch break, every free period, students would flood in. They'd eat their sandwiches, drink their sodas, and leave their trash wherever they felt like. I didn't do that. My mother raised me to clean up after myself. Actually, she didn't just raise me, she drilled it into me. If you make a mess, you clean it. You don't leave it for someone else. So I always had a little bag in my backpack for my wrappers. I'd wipe down the table if I spilled something. I never left so much as a crumb. But nobody noticed that, because nobody was watching. Not until the trash started piling up. One day, I think it was a Tuesday, a teacher pulled me aside in the hallway. Miss Harper, her name was. She had that tight, pinched face that always looked like she was smelling something bad. She said, "Alex, we've noticed that you've been leaving a mess in the common room. You need to clean it up, starting today." I blinked. I genuinely thought she was joking. "I don't leave a mess," I said. "I always throw my stuff away." She looked at me like I had just spoken in a foreign language. "Don't argue with me. Just do it." That was the first time I felt that cold knot in my stomach. That feeling of being accused of something you didn't do and realizing that the person accusing you has already decided you're guilty. There is no trial. There is no evidence. There is just their word, and your word means nothing. I went to the common room that afternoon, and I almost threw up. The room was a war zone. French fries ground into the carpet. Plastic forks snapped in half. A milk carton had been left open and had started to curdle, the sour smell mixing with the stench of old ketchup. Someone had drawn something inappropriate on the wall in what looked like chocolate pudding, and I was supposed to clean all of it. I stood there for a long time, just staring. My hands were shaking, not from fear, from unfairness. I could feel my chest tightening, that pressure that comes when the world is wrong and you can't fix it. But I was 17. I was a kid, and I didn't know what else to do. So I cleaned it. Every last piece of trash. I scrubbed the tables. I threw away the curdled milk. I even tried to wipe the pudding off the wall. It took me almost an hour. My back hurt. My hands were raw from the cheap cleaning spray they gave me. And when I was done, I sat down on one of the chairs and thought, okay, that's over. Now they'll see I didn't do it. They didn't see anything. The next day, the common room was a mess again. New trash, new spills, new smells. And again, a teacher found me. This time it was Mr. Davies, the gym teacher, a man who thought shouting was the same as teaching. "You didn't clean up yesterday," he bellowed. "Get in there and do it now." I said, "I did clean it yesterday. I cleaned everything." And I proved to Miss Harper that I don't leave trash. I showed her my backpack had nothing in it. He didn't even pause. "Don't lie to me, Alex. Just go clean." That was the moment something inside me shifted. Not anger, exactly. More like resignation. I realized they weren't accusing me because they believed I was guilty. They were accusing me because it was easy. I was the weird kid, the special ed kid, the one nobody would defend. And if they made me clean, they didn't have to find the real culprits. I cleaned again. But this time, I did it slowly. I made sure to pick up every single piece of trash and hold it up to the security camera. Not that anyone ever checked the footage. I wanted proof. I wanted evidence. I wanted someone to see that I was the only person in that entire school who was doing the right thing. Nobody saw. By the third day, I stopped cleaning. I walked into the common room, looked at the mess, and walked right back out. A teacher saw me and called out, "Alex, you're not done." I kept walking. That's when the real harassment started. Every break, a different teacher would find me. "Clean the common room. Why aren't you doing what you're told? You're being difficult again." I tried to explain. Over and over. I didn't make the mess. Look at my hands. They're clean. Look at my backpack. No trash. I've been cleaning for 3 days straight while the real litter bugs do nothing. But every explanation bounced off them like water off a rock. They didn't want the truth. They wanted obedience. This went on for a week. Then 2 weeks. Then almost a month. Every single day, I was told to clean that room. And every single day, I refused, except for the first 2 times. The teachers' voices got sharper. Their threats got bigger. Detention. Suspension. "We'll write a letter for your permanent record." I stopped caring. I had become numb. That's the thing about being treated badly for a long time. You start to believe maybe you deserve it. Maybe you are difficult. Maybe you are the problem. I was 17 years old, and I was beginning to hate myself. But my mother raised me to never hate myself. And she raised me to never let anyone spit on my dignity. One afternoon, I was sitting alone in the hallway, eating a sandwich. The common room was, as usual, a pigsty. And I was, as usual, ignoring it. Then I heard footsteps. Heavy, deliberate footsteps. The kind that announce authority. I looked up. It was the head teacher, Mrs. Van Court. She was tall, with iron gray hair and eyes that had never smiled at a student. She stood over me, arms crossed, and said, loud enough for everyone in the hallway to hear, "Alex, this is your final warning. If you do not clean that common room right now, I am calling your parents." The hallway went quiet. A few kids stopped to stare. I could feel their eyes on me, some curious, some smug, some just bored. And in that moment, something extraordinary happened inside my head. The fear just vanished. The numbness disappeared. The self-doubt evaporated. And in its place was a cold, clear certainty. I knew, in that instant, that nothing I said would change her mind. No explanation, no evidence, no plea for fairness would work. She had already decided I was guilty. She had already decided that I would be the one to clean up other people's messes. And she thought she could break me by threatening to call my mother. She didn't know my mother. I stood up very slowly. I looked her straight in the eyes, and I mean straight. I did not blink. I did not flinch. I reached into my pocket, pulled out my phone, and held it out to her. And I said, "Go ahead." You should have seen her face. Her mouth opened, then closed. then opened again. The color drained from her cheeks, then rushed back. She looked at my phone like it was a live snake. For a full 5 seconds, she just stood there, frozen. She had expected me to cry, or beg, or clean the room while mumbling apologies. That's what kids like me were supposed to do. The weird kids, the special ed kids, the kids nobody believed. We were supposed to fold. I didn't fold. I pushed back. Mrs. Van Court finally found her voice. She whispered, actually whispered, "You can't talk to me like that." I said, "I'm not talking. I'm handing you my phone. You said you wanted to call my parents. Here, call them." She stared at the phone for another long second. Then she turned on her heel and stormed off. Her heels clicked against the tile floor like gunshots. The students in the hallway burst into whispers and laughter. And I sat back down. I finished my sandwich. My hands weren't even shaking. For the next 2 days, nothing happened. I went to class. I ate my lunch. I walked past the common room. Still a mess, still not my problem. The teachers stopped telling me to clean it. They wouldn't even look at me. It felt strange. Like I had won a battle that nobody else knew had been fought. But I knew the war wasn't over. Because Mrs. Van Court had promised to call my parents. And I knew she would. People like her don't make empty threats. They just delay them. I was right. 3 days later, I came home from school and found my mother in the kitchen. She was stirring a pot of soup, and she had that look on her face, the one that said, "Someone is about to get an earful." "Your school called," she said. I sat down at the table. "I know. I told you they would." She nodded. Then she put down her spoon, sat across from me, and told me exactly what had happened. Mrs. Van Court had called her during her lunch break. She had put on her most official, most intimidating voice, the one that made students cry, and she had said, "Mrs. Last Name, your daughter has been insubordinate, disruptive, and has refused to follow instructions. She has been leaving trash in the common room and then refusing to clean it. We have given her multiple chances. This is his final warning." My mother listened. She didn't interrupt. She let Mrs. Van Court talk herself out. And then, my mother, the woman who taught me to clean up after myself, the woman who never raised her voice unless it was necessary, the woman who loved me more than anything in the world, unleashed. She said, "Mrs. Van Court, my daughter does not leave trash anywhere. I have taught him better than that. She has shown you his empty backpack. She has cleaned your common room twice for messes she did not make. You have security cameras. Have you checked them? No? Then why are you blaming him?" Mrs. Van Court tried to interrupt. My mother kept going. "You have been harassing my child for weeks because it is easier than finding the real students who are making the mess. You have singled him out because she is different. And now you have the audacity to call me and threaten her? Let me be very clear. If I hear one more word about her cleaning that room, I will come down to that school. I will demand to see every minute of security footage. And if I find out that you have been lying, that you have been targeting my daughter for no reason, I will make sure your superintendent knows exactly what kind of person you are." Silence. A long, heavy silence. Then Mrs. Van Court said, very quietly, I think there's been a misunderstanding." And my mother said, "Yes, there has. Goodbye." And she hung up. She told me all of this while the soup bubbled on the stove. I laughed. I actually laughed. A real belly laugh, the first one I'd had in weeks. The next day at school, I walked past Mrs. Van Court in the hallway. She looked at me, opened her mouth like she was going to say something, then closed it and walked away. I was never asked to clean the common room again. Not once. Not even when the trash piled up so high that the janitors complained. Not even when the smell started drifting into the classrooms. The teachers gave me a wide berth after that. They didn't apologize. People like that never do. But they stopped harassing me. And that, for me, was enough. Looking back, almost 20 years later, I realized that story isn't about revenge in the way most people think of it. I didn't get anyone fired. I didn't expose them on social media. I didn't make them suffer the way they made me suffer. What I did was simpler, and I think more important. I refused to let someone treat me like garbage just because they thought I was an easy target. I stood up. I handed over my phone. And I trusted that the person who raised me, the fierce, loving, unstoppable woman who taught me to always clean up my own messes, would have my back. She did. And that was the most satisfying revenge of all. So if you're watching this and you're in a situation where someone is blaming you for something you didn't do, a teacher, a boss, a friend, a stranger, remember this. You don't have to clean their mess. You don't have to accept their lies. You can hand them the phone. You can say, go ahead. And you can trust that the people who really know you will fight for you. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button right now. And tell me in the comments, what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever witnessed or delivered yourself? I read every single story. And while you're down there, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Because we have a lot more stories like this coming your way. Thanks for listening. Stay fair, stay fierce, and never clean up a mess that isn't yours.